Yes, people, you know the face, you know the name. Aaron here, back again with a special video. I was going to say another video, but it's a special video. 15K celebration, and I'm doing a Q&A. First things first, wherever you are, give yourself a round of applause. Yes. Give yourself a round of applause, because if today I've reached 15K, it's because of you guys. Do I have something here? Am I looking good? If I don't, you guys will tell me. Anyway, thank you very much for your support, people. 15K. Now listen, for those who've been following me for a long time, this channel's been on a hold for a minute. I was going through some personal stuff. You know, I was kind of revisiting the whole YouTube stuff. Was it really for me? At one point I was thinking, because I can't lie, I was doing a lot of comparisons. I was comparing myself to a lot of people, and I was asking myself, why am I not at the same level as X, Y, and Z? You know, and for a long time, I kind of stopped doing content, you know. But when you love this game and when you truly, truly want to succeed, there's no excuses. You just have to work hard, and you just have to keep persistent and keep going. Do you know what I mean? So I restarted being consistent on my channel for about, I would say, almost a year and a half, and here we are, man. We went from just over 11K or 10K something. Here we are today, man, 15K. So looking back, because obviously the progress is very slow, but looking back, I'm like, you know what? I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of you guys, man. You guys have helped me reach 15K. So listen, I put out the post on my Instagram story, and I let you guys answer, or ask questions rather, and I'm going to answer them today. And I'm going to be as honest as I can possibly be. And yeah, man, I'm going to try and not deflect from anything. I'm going to be straight to the point, as honest as I can possibly be, but obviously respectful. So without further ado, let's get into these questions, man. First up, we have Brandon_Holstead 98, and he's saying, favorite superhero and thoughts on RDJ Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in upcoming Avengers. Now, anybody that knows me in my private life knows I'm a Marvel guru. I absolutely love anything to do with Marvel. In fact, I love Marvel so much that, what was it, end of January all the way through to like March, I rewatched all of the Marvel movies in chronological order on my Disney Plus account, bro. I watched all of them, no word of a lie. And I'm about to do the same with the series. So I'm probably gonna start with Moon Knight, or like Loki, or maybe Winter Soldier and the Falcon. I'll see, but I'll start tonight. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of Marvel. But speaking about my favorite superhero, you just mentioned Robert Downey Jr. My favorite superhero, nah, I'd be lying to you guys. I can't lie. My favorite superhero is the Flash. I will say that, because when I was a kid and I was playing football, I was fast and I was quick, so people always called me Flash. Do you know what I mean? So that's how the name stuck. So yeah, my favorite superhero is the Flash. However, I love Marvel. No shade to DC. I kind of like DC, but they need to revamp the whole universe and try and make it a bit better. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Doctor Doom. Obviously, they had to revamp the whole storyline because of the whole situation that happened with Jonathan Majors, you know, in real life. And they basically cancelled the Kang Dynasty storyline, which was going to lead to Doctor Doom anyway. So my thing is, they probably fast-tracked everything to Doctor Doom, which is going to come out next year, I think. Avengers Doomsday is going to come out next year in May. So, do you know what? Because Doctor Doom is such a wicked and evil character at the same time, I actually think it's a good idea to cast Robert Downey Jr. or recast him, because now we're going to see him from a different angle, and we're going to see him from a different perspective, because we all know him to play Iron Man, of course, Tony Stark, and he's funny, he's sarcastic, he's arrogant. Now we're gonna see a dark side of him. So I actually think this is a good idea. I did not expect when he turned up at the the Comic-Con and he revealed himself, took off his mask, and yeah, that was a big surprise, big reveal. But yeah, man, I'm actually excited, very excited. Next question is from frontpost.ig. Big up Front Post each and every time. What's a video/content idea you want to try and create this year that you haven't done yet? Ooh, I want to do them interviews, man. You know them interviews that you see online on YouTube where people will just sit down with footballers and not necessarily have a proper interview, question, answer. I just want to have a conversation, man. And I think I would probably model it off Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. The reason why I love that so much is because it's a conversation. And at the same time, it feels like the people going on there are just opening up their heart and just whatever they have on their minds, they just say it. And it's such a lovely conversation, man. So I want to base it on that. And also, I would love to base it on another podcast that I really love, Drink Champs. Drink Champs for me is one of my favorite podcasts because, again, yes, they're interviewing a person or celebrity, but it's very much a conversation where the celebrity is actually the main focus. Where sometimes you watch an interview and the person interviewing the person interviewing the celebrity wants to take over the whole spot and wants to be in the spotlight. Nah, I love podcasts where, yes, there's a person asking questions, but it's not much of a question answer type thing, but it's a conversation. And that's what I want to do. I would love to sit down with a footballer, past or present, and just talk, man. Just talk about everything. Life, football, ups and downs, wins, losses, success, failures, everything, man. I would love to do that. So that's one content idea that I would like to do that I haven't done yet. Next question is from my guy, Lino_NBA. Shout out to Lino every single time. Any advice for aspiring content creators? Congrats on the milestone. First things first, Lino, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, bro. Any advice for aspiring content creators? Now, I don't want to sound like I'm the old head who's been in the game for years. And yes, I have been doing this for a long time. This is like my 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is my 7th year now. So, and I'm still learning. Do you know what I mean? I'm still learning. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still learning from my mistakes. But one piece of advice that I would definitely give is to just be yourself. And it sounds very cliche, but trust me, in this industry, you have a lot of people, and this is not me throwing shade at anyone, you have a lot of people that will put on a persona and put on an image, and you can kind of tell. And people are not dumb. The people watching, they can tell when somebody's not being genuine, when someone is not being his or her authentic self in a piece of content. People can tell. So I would say just be yourself. And trust me, there's a public that will like you for being you. Because trust me, there's a public out there that like people for what they're not. But there will always be a public that will love you for who you are. So, just be yourself, man. Just be yourself, bro. Honestly. Next question. We have a lot of them today, but I'm going to get through all of them. Don't worry. This is from Taran, and I'm hoping I'm not butchering your name here. Taran_KH23, and he says, your favorite language which you are able to speak. I think it's pretty straightforward. For me, it's French. French for me is my favorite language to speak because my parents are both originally from Congo. My family is from Congo. I do have a bit of roots in Guinea as well. For those who know Guinea, obviously you've got 3 Guineas. You've got Guinea. You've got Equatorial Guinea, where they speak Spanish. You've got Guinea-Bissau, where they speak Portuguese, and you've got the French-speaking Guinea, which has Conakry as the capital. And my mum is half Congolese and half from Guinea, where they speak French, so Conakry. And yeah, so I've got a bit of Guinean blood in me. And yeah, French is our language and it's their language as well. So yeah, at home, we speak French. My parents raised me in French. I speak French with my siblings. Where I live, my family's very close to me. And every time we meet in church on Sundays, obviously we speak English, but we speak French. And yeah, so French is my favorite language to speak, man. And, you know, I'm still in contact with all of my boys from Belgium, where I lived for 10 years, and we speak French as well with each other. So is that the ice cream truck? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I've got some Haagen-Dazs in the freezer as well. I'm going to pull it out in a minute and have it after filming this video. So yeah, French, definitely French. Shout out to Taryn. Next question is from John Nation. What? John Nation Gachugu. Shout out to you, my bro. Talk about Vincent Kompany proving his haters wrong. I like Vincent Kompany, man. As a person, I really like Vincent Kompany as a person. I've always loved what he stands for. I've always loved the way he speaks. He conducts himself very well. He conducts himself in a very exemplary measure, I would say. So I've always liked him as a person, even though he played for Man City. But, you know, sometimes you've got to put rivalries aside and see people for who they are as people, as a person. So I've always liked Kompany. And when he got the job at Bayern Munich, I was really happy for him. I was really happy that he got the job at Bayern Munich, and I really wished for him to succeed. And I still wish for him to succeed. I know obviously now, at the time of recording, it's not the best of times and they have to overcome a deficit in the return fixture against Inter Milan. But I genuinely wish for him to be nothing but successful, because at the end of the day, he's black, just like me. He's Congolese, just like me. So to see a black Congolese coach, first of all, in Germany, is a big surprise. But at the top level, we don't see that. So obviously, when criticism needs to be given, I'll do it. But I'm not just going to do it for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? However, when it's time to praise him, I'll praise him as well. And I'm fair. I'm fair with that. So I wouldn't say prove his haters wrong. I would only say that if, let's say, he beats Inter Milan, he gets to the Champions League final, which is going to be in Munich as well, so extra pressure. And who knows, if he wins the Champions League, then I can say, you know what, yes, he proved his haters wrong. But so far, he's not doing bad. He's gone to the Bundesliga, and people are going to say, well, it's easy to win the Bundesliga. Well, Thomas Tuchel failed. He failed in his second year. Excuse me. Well, I hope you guys don't hear that. Thomas Tuchel failed in his second year. So I like what he's doing, man. You know, I hope he wins the league and I hope he goes as far as possible in the champs. Next question is from Stevie Uric _ Who's your Man United dream signing? Love your content, by the way, and congrats on 15K. Thank you very much, Stephen. Much appreciated. Stevie, I should say. Who's my Man United dream signing? Victor Osimhen. I'm not even gonna... Victor Osimhen. Bring this guy to my football club. Bring. We need a goal scorer. Not just a goal scorer, we need an angry one. Because, bro, you look at Osimhen. Right now he's at Galatasaray. Look at the majority of goals that he's scoring. The guy's angry. When you see him strike the ball, he doesn't look, he's not trying to caress the ball. No, he hits the ball with so much venom and so much vim. I need that at my football club. This is hella funny. I need this at my football club. I need that. I need that anger. I need that focus. I need that. Do you know what I mean? We don't have that enough in our strikers at Man United. So Victor Osimhen, bring him to the club. There you go. Next question is from Chris _ Collymore. Shout out to Chris Collymore. Ronaldo or Messi? I knew this question was covered. I'll be real. Messi. I just appreciate the art the skill. I appreciate the beauty of when he plays football, man. Messi, and he's one player that I still want to watch live before he retires. And I hope, God, if you hear my prayers, I hope I get to see him somehow. Obviously now it's a bit difficult to just go to the US and watch a game at Miami, into Miami. But I hope next year at the World Cup, I hope I can go out there and catch an Argentina game and say that I watched Messi live in the flesh, because I would love nothing more. I've seen Ronaldo, you know, Neymar, remains to be seen. That one's in the drafts. I've seen Pogba, you know, I've seen Mavericks, but I want to see the ultimate Maverick, the GOAT for me, you know. So I'm going to go, I'm going to try and go to the US next year. So yeah, Messi for me. Messi. The next question is from Monsieur_Noir_. Shout out Monsieur Noir. He says, where are you from? I get a bit confused because you said you speak German. Okay, so this is a question that is very reoccurring, and a lot of people want to know my background. So listen, I'm originally Congolese, like I said. Dad fully Congolese, mum half Congolese and half from Guinea. I was born in Berlin, lived there till I was about 7 years of age, I would say. Then in the year 2000, we moved to Cologne. I lived in Cologne from age 7 all the way to like age 13. Then, so that's where the German comes from. Then we moved to Belgium when I was 13, and we lived in Belgium, or I lived in Belgium till I was about 23, turning 24. Well, no, I had just turned 24. So when I turned 24, I left Belgium and came to the UK. So there you have it. That's my background. But you want to know my nationality, like my passport, it's German. But obviously, heavy Congolese roots, heavy. Next question is from Kufo.respawned. Yeah, shout out to Kufo. Will Man United be able to be crowned champions of England in the next 5 years? Ooh. The way it's looking, not really. I think there's still a lot of work to do. In the next 5 years, I don't know, man. First of all, we've got to take care of this new stadium, which we're going to enter in 5 years. We have to sort out the financial situation. We have to sort out the personnel situation, the players that play at the club. We've got to sort all of that out. So it's going to take a while. So before we even think about being champions, we have to think about competing again and being a team that's feared again in the country. People have to fear coming to Old Trafford again, because right now it's way too easy for teams to come to Old Trafford and just do whatever they want, you know? So is it a possibility? Personally, I don't think so. I'd like to be realistic, and I don't want to just sit here and lie to you guys and just be positive for the sake of being positive. No, I think it's going to be very difficult. If you tell me 7, 8 years, yes, no problem. But 5 years, remember, it goes quick, you know? So right now, I would probably say no. All right, who do we have next? Boaz_Sanch. Shout out to my guy Boaz, man. He says, what made you start a YouTube channel? Yeah, he says, what made you start a YouTube channel, and what advice would you give to someone to start one? What made me start? It was very random. We played Liverpool in December 2018. Mourinho was in charge. At that point, I was already watching YouTubers, and I remember the first show, like the first piece of content that I really watched from start to finish was the Flex and Run show. Back then they were still on the United stand. So they were the two first people that I watched like religiously, you know, and it didn't really push me to start my own channel because I was just enjoying the content. I was just watching it. But then when we lost against Liverpool, I was so fuming, bro. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what these YouTubers do. That's what I called them back in the day. I'm going to try and do what these YouTubers do. So I asked my cousin if I could use this camera, and he had like a little a camcorder. I stacked it. I stacked a few books on top of each other, put the camcorder on top of it, and I've recorded it. And that was the start of my channel. And let me try and see if I can. No, I'm not going to embarrass myself like that. I was going to say, let me try and see if I can put the footage. If I can put the footage into this Q&A video. I'm not going to embarrass myself. One day I'll do like a throwback, but not today. So yeah, that's how I started my channel, man. And like I said, my piece of advice to someone who wants to start one is be authentic, be yourself, and just start. I just told you right now, all I had was a camcorder. That's it. I didn't have the best editing skills. I didn't have the best skills in terms of making a thumbnail. I didn't have the best skills in terms of, nothing really. So just start. Even if you have a phone, just start. Because people like to see progress. People like to see the way I started. You know, the way I started was I had a camcorder, I had a phone, and that was it. But today, you know, thanks to God, I'm able to afford all of this, and talk to you with quality stuff. Do you know what I mean? So just start. The rest will come. Don't worry. Next up, we have _Abuka007, and he says, I'd want to know about your career in football and how you dealt with the fact that you couldn't play anymore. You went in deep. Pause. This is a very deep topic, and a topic that I don't really like to talk about because I partially blame myself for not having had a long career, because I could have had a long career. But there's a reason why sometimes I'm very critical of young footballers, because sometimes I can see myself in them. And if I had the opportunity to talk to them, I would tell them not to make those mistakes that I'm seeing them make, especially off the pitch, because you see these young footballers nowadays, a lot of them, they're here today, gone tomorrow, because they don't have the right mentality. They don't surround themselves with the right people. And they just don't have what is required to have to be a professional footballer and have a good, forget long career, a good, sustainable, solid career. Do you know what I mean? So what was your question again, my bro? You'd want to know about my career in football. So as you know, there was that thing that I did where I played against Bayern Munich. It was actually an exhibition match, very similar to the Nike the Chance thing. If you people remember Nike the Chance, that's what happened. So we were selected after having trials and whatnot to be in a squad, 26 or 28 man squad, to play against Bayern Munich. And after that, obviously, agents became aware of me, and I got in contact with an agent of a friend of mine who still plays football till this day. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to try and protect him. But yeah, he talked to his agent and he was like, yo, my friend, have you seen him? He played against Bayern Munich. And that agent was, very impressed. Very impressed with what I had done. So I had a trial at a Dutch team. I don't know if you guys know Willem II. At the time, I think they were in the second division pushing for promotion. So I trained for like a day with them in pre-season. It was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was tough. And that was my first taste of like professional football. And yeah, then, I played in Southeast Germany for a bit, and that didn't really work out. Went back to Belgium, played semi-pro, and, gradually as I was playing, I kind of fell out of love with the game, playing wise. And I'm going to go back to my original point, because I didn't have the necessary motivation. I was just happy with doing the training whilst training with the team, and that was it. I didn't think I needed the extra training session, outside of the training ground and away from the training ground and putting in extra hours. And I didn't think I needed that. And, looking back, I fully regret it, because if I had put in those extra hours, I could have had a career, But I look back at my career and think, I'm glad I experienced and witnessed some of these moments, because they made me stronger. and they made me who I am today. And, you know, that's why you hear me have such strong opinions, because, bro, I know what I've seen. I know the people that I've played with, played against, and just people that I've watched growing up. And the standard for me in football is a beautiful sport. And I just can't allow people to be disrespecting this sport by praising some of the players that they praise nowadays. And, you know, some of the players not putting in the required work. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, man, I look back in my career, even though it wasn't long, I'm proud of it. Very proud of it. Ronaldo, Messi again. This is from _real_is_rare. Damn. Why are you always hating on Salah? Is it a personal thing? Real is rare. I'm going to be honest. It's not personal. The reason why first of all, people have taken this out of context. I'm going to tell you something that I think is happening with this new generation of fans. This generation of fans, everybody has their favorite players, of course. I have mine. But if someone's going to criticize, for example, Ronaldinho and say, oh, he didn't do it for long enough, I'm going to say, you know what, fair play. That's your opinion. But for me, he's still my favorite player of all time. What happens with this new generation of fans is you criticize their favorite player and they take it personal. So when you see me or when you hear me talk about Salah, a lot of people out there have Salah as their favorite player. So when I say stuff like he's a great goal scorer but not a great footballer, people take it personal because they want me to say something to satisfy their feelings. So no, it's not personal, because after those 2 performances he put in against PSG, I pretty much stopped talking about Salah. Well, not stopped, but like I didn't go in on him the same way I did after those 2 PSG games, you know? But like I said, people take it personal to the point where you've got people on Twitter, atting me and doing, super long tweets about allegations of me hating Salah, and it's all nonsense. Like, it's just football at the end of the day. But like I said, people nowadays in football, the new breed of football fans, they can't take criticism. They think everything has to be positive. But that's not life. You can't go through life thinking everything's positive. At some point, there's going to be negatives. But guess what? You can learn from them. And that's the same with football. There's negatives everywhere, but players can learn from them. Managers can learn from them. We can learn from them as creators. We can learn from mistakes or negatives. So it's definitely not personal, man. I enjoy watching Salah. Of course, he's a fantastic goal scorer, man. Some of the goals that he scores, yes, they have me speechless. I'm like, raw, did Salah just score that? Of course, I'm a fan of football, but again, because some people's favorites are being criticized and they can't take criticism themselves, they think it's personal. So you probably think it's personal as well. I don't know Mo Salah, so how can it be personal? He doesn't know me. He probably doesn't know of my existence. So it could never be personal. If I was ever given the opportunity to speak to him and, do an interview or piece of content or whatever, I'll take it. You know what I mean? That's how you know it's not personal. If it was personal, if someone was to offer me the chance to do content with Salah and I say, nah, I ain't going to do it, then you can say it's personal. But I would say yes, of course. Do you know what I mean? So, no, it's not personal. Next up, we have Lucci2635, and he says, what separates a good midfielder to a great one? Let me tell you this, man. What separates a great midfielder from a good one? The good ones, for me, and again, I'll take the example of what I hear people say in this country. The good midfielders are the ones that get praised for doing the bare minimum. Oh, he works hard. He gets stuck in. Oh, look at him. He gets his shorts dirty. He, plays for the badge. All of these buzzwords. Like, for me, good midfielders. But the great ones, they're the ones that make the difference. Eye of the needle pass, spatial awareness, technique, being able to get yourself out of tight situations, not being afraid to ask for the ball, not hiding away from the ball, press resistance, mavericks. Those attributes for me make a great midfielder, So That's my opinion on it, man. You know, that's why we always talk about the same type of midfielders when we talk about the best midfielders in the world, you know? The Toni Krooses, the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Zidans, the Busquets, the Lampards, Gerrards, De Bruyne, these type of midfielders. Pogba, like great midfielders. All the rest are just good midfielders. Just because you get stuck in doesn't make you a great midfielder. Everybody gets stuck in. That's the bare minimum. But yeah, man. And last but not least, my guy FCAA. Shout out to my guy AA, man. I saw him on Sunday at the derby. Good to see you always, my bro. He says, I need to read the question as well. You can only commentate one. Brazil-Argentina, World Cup final, or United-Liverpool Champions League final. Oh my God, you put me on the spot there, bro. For those who don't know, I do commentary as well. Again, I'm blessed to do all of these things, man. You know, it's all part of my journey. I do commentary for The Zone, mainly. No, I do commentary for them. I do commentary for The Zone, women's football mainly, women's Spanish league, women's French league, women's Champions League. And occasionally when I need to do French commentary for The Zone Canada, they put me on men's games. So that's how I managed to do Bayern Munich against Dortmund earlier on in the season. I managed to do the UEFA Super Cup, Real Madrid against Atalanta. And I'm doing Bayern Munich against Dortmund again tomorrow. So big up The Zone each and every time. But if I had to choose one, it would definitely be the World Cup final. Brazil-Argentina in a World Cup final. First of all, I'd get to see, well, if we're talking about the next World Cup next year, if I was ever to commentate on that, that means I'd get to commentate on Messi. Oh, I'm not going to say no to that. I'm not. So yeah, man, that's one of my dreams, actually, one of my objectives, to make it to the World Cup and commentate on a World Cup game. Whether it's the final or not, if I manage to commentate on a World Cup game, that for me would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So there you go. Listen, thank you very much, everybody, for your questions. I really enjoyed this Q&A, man. We had some good conversations, and yeah, man, we're going to do another one for 20K, definitely 20K. So keep it going, people. Keep supporting the channel. I really appreciate every single one of you. Your support does not go unnoticed, and yeah, man, we're together in this. We're in this together. So you know what to do, people. Road to 20. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.